Will LLMs like ChatGPTs change our world? Will AI take over our civilization? Will many of us lose our jobs to AI? These are some of the myths or concerns which are doing rounds everywhere. I am Vamsi Krishna, founder of TrueVoice AI. I have built one of the best conversational AI platforms anywhere, and I have a fairly insightful perspective about how AI works. Over the next few minutes, I would like to leave you with a realistic perspective about how the world with AI around us will be. But first, to begin with, let us see how AI works in the first place.
Let's see how Gen AI chatbot works.
What on earth are you?
Only if I were a human like you, I would know who you are, what you want, what I am in that context, if I should answer or smile at you, or simply ignore, etc. Hell, I do not know. But wait a min, I have a trick. I will refer to a giant corpus.
Giant corpus of everything everyone has ever said in the past.
I am a nice friendly bot. I can answer anything for you.
As you can see, AI depends entirely on the data upon which you have trained it. Suppose you train an AI model using Wikipedia information. Wikipedia becomes its universe. Let us say, for example, you have trained a generative model, AI model, to generate images. You have used many images, but you have missed adding air hostess images. Now someone will ask your model to generate an image of an air hostess. What would the model do now? The model would actually look for pictures whichever resemble something like a hostess, whichever have been labeled as a hostess. Probably it will find women who have been hosting parties, collect those pictures and take pieces from it and try to build up an image of another hostess for you, which is not necessarily an air hostess. That is how AI works. Now imagine if you don't even have the pictures of female hostesses in your data when you have trained the model. Then what would the model do? The model will try to find whatever it thinks is the image of an air hostess or a hostess and can come up with any kind of picture, probably an air hostess, probably just a woman who is hosting a party, or it can be anything. That is the problem of hallucination. Now let us look at what happens when you train an AI model. When you give a certain data for training, the algorithm divides the data into several pieces of digital strands, which you can call them as vectors. Now the model also tries to memorize which vector comes after which vector in terms of probabilities. Let us say you say, I want. The probability the model would have memorized will help it to guess the next word. What you would be saying can be a coffee or a tea. And suppose you say, we want. The probability memory in the model may suggest that the next expected word or some of these words can be revolution, justice, we want to go to a party or something like that. Now that is when you train the model. What happens when you are actually using the model? When someone gives an input or makes a request, the request is again converted into a vector. Now once it converts into a vector, the vector is represented uniquely by statistical parameters, which you can call as features. Now based on these statistical parameters or features, the model goes into its memory of all the different vectors which matches to the input vector most closely. Suppose your question, from its memory, it will look at whenever someone asked B in the past, in the history, human beings have always answered C. The most probable answer was C. So now the job becomes simple. The AI will reply to your query with C. That is how the model works based on probability. Now we can understand the limitations of any AI model. To a large extent, it depends on the data upon which you have trained. And also it is limited by the algorithm, the capability of the algorithm through which it can find the best match or the most similar match. Now let us look at what kind of jobs will be impacted because of AI. Over the long history of mankind, human beings have automated many things over several stages. When wheels were invented, people who carried palanquins lost their jobs. When motor engine was invented, the bulls and the buffaloes and the horses, most of them lost their jobs. Now, when computers were invented, many people who were doing routine writing work or information processing work or file management work, these kind of routine works or the clerical works have been automated first. Now when AI has come, it will automate some of the routine decisions which are taken within the IT application. Now when AI came, it started automating some of this information processing itself further. Information processing or software, for example, is hard specified. Like when you call a bank customer service, the IVR will ask you to press 1 if you want to speak to someone, press 2 if you want to apply for a credit card, press 3 if you want to apply for a home loan or things like that. Or when you go to an e-commerce site, it will ask you to select the product category. This is hard specification. Whereas with AI, you call a customer service and you can say, my credit card has been blocked. So the input is not hard specified. The AI model will be capable to take a free-flowing language from you and it will try to understand that you are talking about credit card and your problem is that it is blocked. Similarly, you go to an e-commerce site and instead of selecting the category of the product you want to buy, you can simply say, I am looking for a laptop. So the AI should be able to understand you are looking to purchase a laptop and it can fetch the results which match your requirement and show to you. So a hard specified problem can be converted into a loosely specified request. Not even a problem. So the AI increases the range of the information processing capability. So instead of hard specifying every task, every workflow, the AI can actually learn from the models and make those small decisions using unstructured or free-flowing data to estimate, guess, and possibly accurately on what you would be looking for. So it has automated the information processing decisions further. What it means is the main impact of AI will be felt in the information processing industry. So what are these information processing jobs? For example, if you are a graphics person who is generating images using other images and mixing and matching to come up with your own image, that job is better done by AI. If you are a remix artist who is mixing different strands of music and trying to make your own music out of it, AI can do much better. AI can become a much better DJ, for example. Similarly, if you are a software programmer who is married to syntax, if you call yourself as a C programmer or a .NET developer, because here your focus is only on the syntax. If that is your specialization, your job will be impacted by AI because AI can memorize syntax much better than you and ChatGPT can give you all the syntax if you ask it correctly. But if you are into data structures, algorithms and solving original problems, that is what AI cannot do. Similarly, if you are an editor or a content writer who is an editor who is trying to check basic spellings and grammar mistakes, that kind of job is already overtaken by word processors. If you are a content generator who is trying to generate uninspired content by mixing and matching here and there, that job is also done better by ChatGPTs or other generative AI. But if you are a content writer who is coming up with original plots, you have a style of writing, you bring in something more creative to the table, then your job will not be impacted by AI. So, we say that AI will impact information processing jobs. But how much will that impact be? Let us take the example of plastic flowers. Now, if I walk into IKEA, there are more plastic flowers and plastic greenery everywhere, and you hardly find a natural flower or a plant. And plastic flowers have a good value because they are not perishable. You can buy them for a little money and they will stay with you, decorate your house for a long time. But can we say that plastic flowers have replaced natural flowers or natural gardens? Or is it like people who buy these plastic flowers or plants don't have a chance, or they can't afford to have real gardens or real plants in the same place? For example, in your living room, if you don't get enough sunlight, you may want to use plastic flowers in the flower vase. But if you have a garden and if you have a balcony which gets enough sunlight, you wouldn't use plastic there, right? So what we can see is the artificial flowers, artificial plants may not have replaced, or to a large extent have not replaced, the market or the demand for natural plants or natural flowers, whereas they have created a segment of their own. Similarly, AI may create a segment of its own rather than completely obliterate the human beings who do these information processing jobs. For example, if AI can generate music, we don't need music artists anymore. Anybody can pay for that model, generate that music and listen whenever they please to. Similarly, if AI is writing stories and novels, we don't need authors anymore. Similarly, if AI can write all the programs, then we don't need software programmers anymore. But is it likely to happen? It won't happen. But what AI will do is, it will take a part of the information processing jobs which are routine. So if you would see how automation happened before information processing IT revolution has come, most of the automation has automated physical aspects of work or the physical mechanics of work. Whatever a routine physical activity like a mixer grinder can keep grinding instead of you doing it with the hand. So instead of somebody fanning with the hand, a fan motor can actually circulate the finish. So whatever is a routine, predictable physical activity has been automated. When IT has come, it has automated whatever the routine workflows are, routine information processing tasks are. Now what AI can do is, it can make those small routine decisions which are required by the information processing applications, so that the information processing applications become more efficient. However, that does not mean that it would take away all the jobs in the information processing industry or elsewhere. So if you are an artist, or if you are a software programmer, or if you are anyone who works in the information processing industry, you should reinvent yourself. So historically, what we have seen is, whenever automation happens, some people lose their jobs, but other jobs are created. Similarly, AI will also automate certain routine information processing jobs, but it will also create other jobs like prompt engineering, people who collect content, who manage databases, who do annotations, who work on the models, and there is lot of work involved because AI by itself cannot do the entire gamut of human tasks even as of today, and it won't be happening in the near time future. So alongside, as the automation increases, it both creates opportunities as well as threats. The threat is that we have to reinvent ourselves. People who do the routine tasks have to upskill themselves and participate in higher order of thinking or creative jobs. The opportunities are like whenever we had cars or whenever we had mixer grinders or even when we have e-commerce applications, all in all of them have freed up our time and we have more time to pursue what we want. Now that is also an opportunity, and in itself it is also a threat, because if machines are doing everything, what do? Do we use that time for productive purposes? Do we meditate? Do we improve ourselves? Do we pursue creative habits? Or do we spend all that free time watching Netflix and again watching those programs which are probably AI generated? So I hope I have given you a good perspective about how it would be with AI all around us. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you are interested in these kind of insightful, deep conversations in future. Thank you.